maybe I don't. It don't matter. We do this for us.
Unpolitical politics, being political about politics, because we just love politics.
This food is nice. I can't.
I'm not even gonna say that on accident. You gonna have to cut that part.
Yeah, I was thinking the same too. Rest in peace, by the way, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Where we going with this?
Yo, we went in. Thank you for showing your hands at least.
Damn, I gotta get these joints done.
We've been kind of going hard and like
Look at the piece though.
what
Start off by telling us the significance of the piece.
peace,
The piece around your neck. Yeah.
peace.
Tell them what that is.
Oh. Well, I mean, I should leave it like that because Wall Street today, right now, it's just fighting itself.
Yeah.
It's a bear market, so yeah, I'm gonna give it like that.
And tell them why it's not overly like flamboyant.
So the piece, my financial piece came from investing in the stock market over 10 years ago.
Okay.
And the piece solidifies that financial freedom. Well, not freedom, I'm not free yet. I'm still chained, but that's alright. I'm gonna get cut out very soon. The other part of the significance is like the silver. So in 2019, I started to investigate silver, gold, platinum, nickel, copper, all the metal elements. And silver just happened to be one of the most popular metal elements for making a whole lot of items inside electronics, and that's far out. Now, I started to invest in silver, we going on 4 years ago now. And when this piece dropped, well, not the piece, but the silver coin, it's a silver coin, it's a minute of 10,000 or less, and I have quite a few. I was like, yo, this is Wall Street right here. This is Wall Street. This is Wall Street at its finest. But what's crazy is, before I even ran into that, I manifested in my mind that I wanted to make my own piece of jewelry to wear. So when that piece, when the coin, when I found it and I saw it, I said, yeah, we go for it. I was like, this will be my time to actually make a chain and have a piece of jewelry cut that out. That tells the story. That tells the story of my financial journey, and then my journey through learning the metal tables and what metal does what and blah blah blah. A lot of people will tell you don't invest in gold and silver, it's a waste of your money. I beg to differ. A lot of people will tell you a lot of things, but if those people have not done it themselves, then what? You want to take that advice? But long story short, I made the chain. I got the rounding that holds it. I've been had the necklace from when I worked at the jewelry store. But the chain, but the round is holding it, funny enough, is sterling silver. As you can tell, it deteriorated. Sterling silver, it's not all silver, it's mixed carbons. But the actual real coin has not deteriorated whatsoever.
Now, second question. The humbleness. As I look around, you got the humble bull here. You know what I mean? Yo, me knowing you, I know you in the top 10% of earnings, right? So to speak, with men. why the choice here? Why the humbleness? You know what I'm saying? Why, you know, why something minute, things like that? Why not something flamboyant, rambunctious, things like that?
It's just me.
Gotcha.
So why would I want to be in a 5-bedroom spread other than if I wanted to be a flamboyant jerk? Because at the end of the day, that bread can be put into an investment
Mm.
that'll keep me going. So when I have one of these type of days where I don't feel like wearing them chains,
Mm.
I can leave and be okay, and I can work on other things. Like we were talking earlier, like how can I blah 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 in 24 hours, pretty much. So not having to waste my time, wasting time. So
Mm.
being
Mm.
humble is fine, but it's one thing to be humble, and it's one thing to be quiet humble.
Mm.
My chain normally is tucked under my shirt, but because I change shirts, it's out. That's a normal. Like nobody sees unless I'm trying to make an outstanding point. Second, nobody knows where I live except for 4 people.
Mm.
So if anything happens where I live, it's between them 4 people. You follow what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And then 3, you can have a penthouse lifestyle and not be in a penthouse.
Understood. Or rather understandable.
As long as you have the finance to finance that penthouse, what does it matter? As long as your environment is peaceful. Have you heard a child crying? Have you heard a gunshot? Have you heard a firecracker? Have you heard an ambulance? Have you heard a fire truck? Have you heard, did I say gunshot already? Let's say gunshot again. Have you heard somebody say help? Somebody just got stabbed. Have you heard any of that?
Not at all. I feel you though. Like, I would only do that unless the family or the wife required it. Like, you know, if I'm make some money off of it or something. Other than that, like I'm chilling, I'm chilling in the trenches usually, you know. But yeah.
It's peace.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear a little noise here and there from the neighbors sometimes downstairs, but it's not like anything crazy. Just like even when I came home Friday, I just sat here right in this shit. This is my favorite chair. I don't know why. I just sat here for like, pretty sure it was like a good 30, 40 minutes. And was like, yep, this is peaceful. Ain't no noise. Ain't nothing going on.
Hey yo, let's touch on some of the topics of discussion that we was talking about earlier.
Alright. Run it.
Okay. So earlier we talked about let me think about that because so many things happened since earlier.
Yeah, I take.
Oh,
you
mental
on that.
mental illness,
Yeah.
mental. Oh yeah, you know I have
Yeah.
controversial discuss. Definitely this, because this is this point of view is. I think it's weird that it's like dim outside now, but like the camera, like it's light in the camera. It must be the light that you radiating out. But anyways, we talked about mental illness and a couple points we agreed upon, a couple we didn't maybe, but the thing that mental illness is not a real thing. It's mental illness is a draw. It's a byproduct of deviation is what I was saying, and I know this is unpopular, and I'm gonna stand by it because I don't care. But even here's the thing: people say they believe in a thing, whether it be an entity, whatever, it don't matter. Entity, but I could bet your bottom dollar that 90% of the people that say they believe in a thing, whether it be an entity, a god, a religion, or whatever, don't, right? Because they don't practice, right? If I would bet that if you would practice the very thing that you say you believe in, for 90 days, whether it be meditation, prayer, Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, whatever, you won't deal with the mental health issues. Has anybody ever done it? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Strictly for 90 days. No. That's right. That's my belief. I'm sticking by it.
So, my thought is, it's understanding.
Okay.
And what I mean by understanding is, there's an origin of something.
Absolutely.
If you don't understand the origin of something, how can you fix it? It becomes insanity, per se. So, like, if you experience the trauma where your parents never taught you necessarily how to handle, speak, communicate, or be an adult in the proper sense, that's a trauma. We don't say it is, but it is. It's a trauma.
Okay.
Because now you're an adult who doesn't know how to perform, deviate, prescribe, act, or vocalize what you're thinking as an adult.
You know I'm gonna call bullshit on this, right?
So, hold on. So, with that being said, if you see the guy screaming la 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 la, and he's saying, "Oh, he just has a mental illness," no, that's still a child who never was taught how to handle or how to speak or how to communicate. Now, there are exceptions to the rules, right?
Absolutely.
Because I can give a personal example, but I'm not going to give that personal example. I'm going to give another example. There could be an individual who had a physical health thing occur, and they can no longer communicate as they did before, right? So, with that being said, that physical issue that happened, it could have been a car accident, could have took half their face. They can't talk. Could have took one of their hands, the hand that they write with, and they can't write. Right? If that person, that's how they react all day long, right? A doctor would say, "Oh, that's mental illness." How? That person has no other form of communication. That's a communication barrier. It's understanding. That person is down to the last bit of whatever they have. They had so much taken, but so much was given. But what was given is not for that person, it's for the person who is the facilitator of the rest of their care. Because that person has to learn something. There's a purpose in everything.
I agree.
So, there are exceptions to the rules. But are we really diagnosing this stuff correctly? No.
Well,
Is it the environment that could cause someone to act mentally? I was losing it in the environment that I was originally in.
so what's the criterion by which we diagnose problems correctly? I think we should start there
We
because
don't have one. That's the problem.
we do.
Yes,
do. The
we do.
problem is-
No. I'm talking about society, normal society who don't want to be aware.
Okay, even if you don't subscribe to any universal principle per se, and you have no quote unquote criterion, you do have result, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the result could be used as a yardstick to judge. Okay, now if the result is not favorable, then common sense which is, I don't know if it's so common, teaches you that you have to do the complete opposite to get the result that is favorable, because there's not any other way to get the result that is favorable.
Is it a process to get to that result?
Is it a process
To get to that result?
to get to the favorable result?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's
People don't want to go through processes. They want the result.
right, but you're going through a process to get the result that's not as favorable anyway. You might as well go through the opposite process to get the
But
opposite
if you go
result.
through the opposite process to get the opposite result, they don't want to go through the process, bro.
Yeah.
Look at it like this.
Yeah, but that suffices to say that the actual result that is unfavorable can be deemed as favorable because that's what you want. You want the unfavorable result, because if you didn't, you would go through the process to get the quote unquote favorable. So it's just basic logistics.
So if you were to tell a person
Mhm.
your 90-day stretch that you just talked about, the 90-day stretch, yes, it's a process,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a 90-day process,
Mm-hmm.
and I promise you'll get to that result.
Mm-hmm.
Who's really gonna take that journey?
I don't know. I mean, not many, because people are comfortable in what is current.
I'm in a 120-day journey right now. I'm in a process. Right? And inside of this process, it's funny that you're doing this today. Today is the audit day. Yesterday was the food, like breaking down the first book of How to Eat and Live,
Mm-hmm.
right? Today is the audit day, and tomorrow is the second book of How to Eat and Live. You've seen it sitting up. Now, inside the 20 days, 120 days, sorry, I know people who need to be in this 120-day process. They won't. Because you have to keep yourself from so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not willing to do that sacrifice. So, for instance, I haven't ate fast food, 18 days in? I haven't eaten fast food
I think so.
in 18 days.
I don't know.
And I'm going through withdrawal.
Oh. You already know how that go.
I'm going
The
through
worst.
some withdrawal. I'm like, I ain't never take no crack in my life, but this is how this shit feel. You trying to withdraw? Oh, I got a taste for steak. I got a taste for. I don't know about this kid. I'm thinking hook and reel. Like, I'm in a withdrawal cycle right now. This is almost over because we 18 days. It's almost over. But even like, I want some ice cream.
Well, I don't know. That's not technically fast food. Nah, I mean
I'm talking about Snicker ice cream
Oh,
bars.
shit,
I ain't talking like vanilla
Okay,
ice cream.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Snicker ice cream bar.
You can make your own though. You that's a way around.
Yeah, I know I can make my own, but I'm also trying to deviate from that type of stuff in this 120 days too. So this is egregious at best. Like, this is harmful. Don't try this at home without a paid professional. Shit. Because now I'm in a process where now I have to audit certain stuff. But that goes back to the mental health. Because I'm noticing patterns with myself, and those patterns has taken effect since I got hurt at Walmart. Started taking horse pills.
Self-awareness.
And once I weaned myself off, because nobody ever took me off, they were still trying to prescribe it to me, and I kept saying no. I took myself off. That's when there was a failure, finally, with my heart. And yeah, I felt that. And then also, I started my mind. I would be on the phone with Mary. Be like, you married, something ain't right. She like, what you mean? Like, yo, I'm having these thoughts, yo. I ain't never had no. Come on, man. Like, you crazy. You talking about somebody take pictures with whips and got the fresh jet. Like, why am I having these thoughts? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I noticed that that medication did something. It did something. Now, if they want to call that mental health, well, they caused that shit. Excuse my language. They caused that. They caused that with the medication. So when they say the medication is poison, I don't know how far I want to go down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna go. Let's go. When they say it's poison, it is. Now, what part of the body is it going to poison? You can't really say until it happens.
It's experimental.
Very. Because none of that medicine was doing nothing for me but putting my. I was asleep. I was asleep.
Right, but here's the thing.
But it mine.
We can't improve on nothing in nature, right? So everything that we need to sustain our lives and to better it is already here, right? Now I'm not gonna say certain meds are not beneficial because they are, but they wouldn't be as beneficial as the original substance. Like all medicines and medications are synthesized from something.
Mm-hmm.
What they're synthesized from, I don't know, but I do know there's an original source that they're synthesized from. How can you can't improve? We cannot improve on nothing in nature. So the byproduct is not greater than the product. That's just like the one that was sent is never greater than the sender.
Why? So look at it like this, right? A lot of pain medication has the cocaine in it.
Okay.
Now, when you take that same item, well, not the coca bean, I'm gonna call it flour.
Okay.
Rated PG list. When they take that flour and they make it a certain way, it's a legal substance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they take a lower dose of that flour and put it into prescribed medication, it's a legal drug, right? But they say don't take more than, because if you take more than, it becomes an illegal drug.
It's just market makers being market makers, yo.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That flour is a natural byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
But that flour was not to be ingested as we ingested. We ingested in so many different ways. It's not supposed to be used that way. And that's why I say that mental health part. Because most people who use it the illegal way, they be gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they want, though.
They be gone. But that shows the point of these devices, medications, they do something to us. They do something to us that shouldn't happen. Clear mind, yo.
But innately, we know that, though, because it's ones of us that don't take medication at all. Absolutely.
So I didn't know this would be a byproduct of trying to get my pain to go away. I had no idea.
What was the initial cause? What was the initial cause of the pain?
Yeah, I got hurt. Yo,
Got
when
hurt?
I pulled that pallet, the joint came right out.
Right. So if the initial cause of the pain is, yo, I'm doing this. Hadn't you I hate these shoulda, coulda, woulda scenarios. But had you not did that, you wouldn't be in this situation today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also wouldn't be wearing this. That's a fact.
I mean, that's subjective. Like you can't really quantify that because
That's a fact, bro. Because in all that time, 18 to 28, I was 28 when it happened. 18 to 28, that 10-year span, I was kind of okay with finances, apparently, because I had a credit and all that. But I wasn't like I am now.
right. So you saying the situation put you over the top?
It put me over. It put me way over the top.
But good, but gets good. So
Elaborate.
so when you put out good, it comes back, right? So if you hadn't got hurt and been in this situation, if you would have been putting out the same frequency of good that you would have through this situation, you would have arrived at a similar product, if not greater. That's all I'm saying. Like we can't quantify you getting hurt. We can't really quantify you not getting hurt, propelling you to where you are today. But we can quantify you getting hurt, put you here, because we here and you got hurt. So like, I don't really like to be suggestive, but I would say this: even if you didn't get hurt, you would be here because of the person that you were and were moving towards before you got hurt. Now, if you was doing the opposite, then and continued in that, you wouldn't be here. But even if you were doing the opposite and made the change within the time frame, you still would have been here. It just would have been alternate. Like I said before, the result is what matters, because if
But
even
you
if
gotta,
you
you gotta believe in the process too.
yeah, but the process is not as important though.
It is.
It's not as important because like I said before, you can have many processes to get a certain result.
Okay.
The result is what's most important. You don't even have to understand the process as long as you get the result.
Okay.
Because I hate doing things we can't quantify. But let's look at the possibility of infinite realities, right? We're gonna say the one we in now is at reality A. So reality B would be you not getting hurt, and reality C into infinite realities would be small adjustments along the way. Like say you didn't get hurt, but you stubbed your toe on a Friday, versus you see what I'm saying? It just gets dumb. It just gets stupid. Like you know what I'm saying? It just gets stupid versus you not getting hurt, but you didn't stub your toe on it. Like it just gets dumb.
So pretty much you saying everything. It's like a portal.
It's just a methodology.
It's just a question mark of like.
Yeah, but it's
what?
Yeah, but it's like the result is you X Y Z versus you not. I'm saying, but we here today, so we here today. We can talk about
Today.
what happened to put you over the top, and what you need to do to correct the situation with your back and things like that. And it just so happened that your particular situation, there's nothing in modern medicine that can help you with that. So you're gonna have to figure that out yourself. It's all experimental.
Yeah.
So it's like
Medicine is experimental altogether. Period. There's no straight up. You have this, so we do this. You have this, so we do that. There's no. It's okay. You have this, so now we gotta run this test, this test, this test, this test, this test, to figure out which way to help you, not fix it. help you with that situation. And then, even when you take the test, oh, well, we could either do this or we can do that. They were telling me, fuse my back. Then they were telling me, let me shoot you in the back. Then they were saying, oh, okay, well, we shot you in the back, and now your neck is like, so let us shoot you in the neck. Don't ever let nobody shoot you in the neck. They shot me in the neck.
Let us shoot you with this vaccine. I think not. I think not.
So,
and I ain't against nobody that get it, but not this guy.
so it's like, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. Off of, what was it? Like 3 tests? 3 tests gave like 7 answers. How does that work? That's not a. You gave me 3 different diagnoses, first of all. Then you gave me 7 answers to only 3 different diagnoses. So it's like 1.5 answers.
And none of them worked except what you decided to do on your own.
Changed the way I eat. Started this yoga stuff. I was doing yoga at like 10:25 last night. Just because my back was tight.
And it worked.
Peppermint oil, and I don't dilute it with water, but I wouldn't tell anybody else not to dilute it with water. You should dilute it with water, but I do not because my nerve damage is so bad. I would not feel it if I diluted it with water. So that's the difference with me. Yeah, and ice, and Epsom salt.
Simple.
Yeah, and actually sit down for some days.
What do you think the initial cause was?
Of the back.
Mm-hmm.
I played football, I played basketball.
No. I mean, the cause it to start to trouble you again, because you said that first of all, you said that I remember when you used to walk with a cane, and doctor said you wouldn't be able to walk again.
Yeah, you remember that shit?
Yes, and you walk without a cane, no problems, right?
Yeah.
And the disc slides in and out your back.
I have a balance issue though. Like, I'm working on that with the yoga. Like, I will trip up. I do have a balance to the left.
Right.
I will trip up, but it's not all the time.
Right. So usually you're fine until what happens and it causes a disc to slide out.
Overwork, no relaxation or recovery. It's really let's stop with relaxation. Let's call it what it is, recovery. Your body has to recover. Don't matter what you do, your body has to recover. So overwork, recovery, stress. Stress is a disease.
Right, but we know this though. Like, we innately know that.
We don't. Because what they teach us is stress is a trigger to teach you when you need to start defending yourself.
I'm gonna say this, regardless of what they teach us, we know. I don't want to say we feel, but we know that
Intuitively.
Yeah, intuitively. Thank you. We know when this ain't it, or I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Or we know, yo, I should do this versus what they telling me to do.
Right.
So why is it that we persist in doing
the opposite?
Doing what's not predicated to the result that we want? So that's insanity. Even myself, I can't answer this question.
But I told you, mental health, taking an audit. Because did I take myself to insanity? I most likely did, or borderline to it. If you tell a dog, I don't mean to call myself a dog, but I'm just example. If you tell a dog to go fetch, and you throw 10 toys into the field, that dog is gonna be like, what? What am I fetching?
Probably all of them.
I'm gonna try one, and I'm gonna try another. I'm gonna figure it out. But you just overloaded that dog. I wish I had a dog right now just to do that.
Really?
You would have overloaded the dog. Like, that's reality. If you tell a cat, here's 4 bowls of food. Come on, Yee.
That cat gonna eat out all of the bowls.
But you're going to overload the cat. It's going to be a negative effect. All of what I'm saying is there's a negative effect when you take one individual and overload them. There's no positive that comes out of it. When people say, yo, I'm burnt out, yo, like, shit. Some people be phony with it, and then some people be like, they really burnt out.
Yeah, but you could tell though.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell. But some people you can't tell. You just like, oh, you burnt. Oh, all right.
Well, I mean, you follow your intuition always. It never steer you wrong.
Right. But at that moment, stress is a disease that hits your body that causes your body defenses to drop.
Huh.
Your immune defenses to drop.
Uh-huh.
So if your immune defenses drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing something that can cause you any type of pain, you're gonna get hit with that pain.
How you bounce back after you fall, Sometimes before you walk, you gon' have to crawl,
Yeah, we gon' see who go bend the break. There gon' be some bruises in life you gon' have to take. There gon' be some hard decisions you gon' have to make. You gon' have to recognize what's real or fake. I've been learning through trial and error. These niggas nowadays crazy in this new era. You don't wanna see me turning into a terror.